Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, and today I bring to you a video on Season 6 is coming and the meta isn't going to change. Seriously. As we analyze the upcoming details for Season 6, which will feature Nargacuga, Hunting Horn, and other new features. And sadly, looks like these changes aren't going to top the strongest meta in the game. And this update is going to take place on June 19th, 12 AM UTC, which is Universal Standard Time. Or Universal, yeah. That's when Season 6 starts. So make sure you convert your proper time zone to this one so that you don't miss out when the update drops. First, we're going to start off with the new monsters. You got the big old Nargacuga, the boss mob of this update, and its element is None, with its weakness of Thunder, and starting off at level 5. You have Beatotis, which its element is Ice, weakness is Fire and Blast, and it starts out at level 4. Bisheten, which is an element of Poison and Paralysis. Its weakness is Ice, and it starts off at level 3. And the Great Rogi, or Rogi, I always mess this one up, okay? So I never liked this thing to begin with, but you know what? Its element is Poison, its weakness is Ice and Paralysis, as well as Sleep, and it starts off at level 2. The Great Jagras' version of Season 6. Now all these are trackable except for Nargacuga, as it will appear on the field in hats during Season 6. So look forward to all these new monsters, and here's the analysis for them. As none of these will actually flip the meta. I know people are trying to FOMO and hype you up with a fear of missing out that there's a new season, but the reality is, there's just way too many other monsters that are better than these. Black Diablos and Tigrex will beat out Nargacuga. Kushala Deorta, I'm already going to predict going to beat up Beatotis, of course, because Elder Dragons beat out regular monsters, and Chameleos will absolutely just shove out Bisheten and the Great Rogi. So there's, with the new weapons just coming out, unfortunately, none of these are going to actually take anything, and it would be kind of dumb if they just made these overpowered when they're not. By pattern-wise, we have seen the same thing over and over again. These aren't going to change anything unless it's a newer release, like a subspecies or an Elder Dragon. Moving on, probably the best part about this update is the Hunting Horn. Musical hammers rejoice as it is finally coming to Monster Hunter now, and attacking builds notes. And aligning those notes in an order will create something called melody effects. These give you extra buffs such as increased attack/defense, special gauge buildup, and more. And each specific Hunting Horn weapon will have its own unique melody effects, along with its special skill, the Magnificent Trio, which will reset your melody effect timer and it applies it to your allies. And that's what makes it exciting! Here's my analysis for the musical hammer that goes burr, and I've messed around with it a few times in the main series. It was my favorite support weapon, and it's going to be your favorite one here, especially if you are lucky enough to have group hunts and play with a group of friends in Monster Hunter Now. It has the potential to be a force on its own, but the thing that limits the Hunting Horn is that Monster Hunter Now's timer is really low. You have the glory and the beauty of long hunts when it comes to the main series games. That's not exactly something you can go for in Monster Hunter Now unless it's an Elder Dragon interception. And you can only use the buff to your allies using your special skill. So that means special skill boosting builds would likely help, and pure support builds specifically for Hunting Horn might be a thing worth looking into. And now one of the most exciting things of this update is called Riftborne monsters, which appear at 8 stars and above. Slaying these monsters will reward materials needed for style customization. This is the brand new content that should maybe get you excited, as Season 6 will release a certain set of Riftborne monsters, and more will be introduced in the future. So you heard it, they're not going to unleash the entire lineup, just a certain set. Now this gives you a reason to fight 10-star monsters, more on that later, but limiting release to weak monsters was a bad idea. Should have something like Black Diablos be eligible to hype it up, because this lineup you see here, the 6 of these, aren't exactly anything to write about. The amount of effort it would take to build one of these means you don't want to waste your time unless it's the best meta. Now, given reading an interview I did later on, they're supposed to be on par with the strongest ones if you build them towards it, but why would you go after these if you already have the strongest variants of their respective elements built? Like Silver Rathalos for the Anjanath one. And you'll only be able to boost the stats of grade 8 or higher weapons. This will alter the actions of each weapon type and allows you to choose up to 2 new styles, so you get to change your gameplay. So there's potential for this as far as style goes, it's just your specific weapon that kind of makes it, as for now, just kind of meh. Where long press actions and combos will change, and some of the style customizations require materials from 9 and 10 star monsters. So it's kind of ironic that some people are trying to give you advice about this when they can't consistently take out 9 and 10 star monsters unless they actually have groups themselves, which hardcore players like me and a lot of you can actually just smite these on your own without having to rely on someone else. And that's what makes it kind of limited, actually very limited, because only Riftborne monster weapon types can use style customization. And at the start of Season 6, they're going to lower the material requirements, but here's the problem. There are only 3 available weapon types as of right now, are going to be. The sword and shield, the longsword, and a light bowgun. Great because the longsword's S tier and the light bowgun's A, but 3 out of 13 weapon types are going to be available. Not really a good feeling, especially, like I mentioned, with the limited monster pool that's coming out to begin with, without much hype. And sadly, that's just what it is. It's only worth it if you're building the top weapons, and the monster pool right now is really weak. I guess it's to balance everything, but limiting it to 3 weapon types isn't great either. I get it for the balancing part, but there's no real point at all to grind this stage unless you really want to waste resources if you already have the top weapons. And because Riftborne monsters aren't exactly a walk in a park because you need 8, 9, and 10 star monsters, it's kind of like, why am I going to do this unless it's the top weapon to begin with? But hey, at least there's some new skills coming, right? So you have Build Up Boost, Final Shot, Blunt Force, and Paralysis Exploit. Now, before everyone keeps trying to sell and clickbait you to oblivion, none of these are really great. No, seriously, it's like, okay. They're like, yay, fun to play with. Blunt Force has potential, but you have to spam specific skills. Like me being a build connoisseur, if this affects the hammer, you're probably going to do something called like Focus 5 and Blunt Force 5. And then for Final Shot weapon types, you need other skills like reload speed / artillery to be great, so you can't take full advantage of that anyways. There's no reason for you to Final Shot 5 when something like other things, again, like reload speed, artillery for certain weapon types, take priority over something like a skill like Final Shot. But hey, at least there's some other features. So you're going to get a login bonus where you bust a balloon to get an item. The Season 6 pass will come out. It's probably going to be an upgrade version for Season 5, so look out for that. And our favorite season supply item of 250 free slots is coming right back. Along with that, in case you're wondering, Glavenus and Arzos will temporarily be available. This is common for each new season as they have an event that comes out right when the season starts. And last but not least, we have Monster Hunter Navi 2. This was one of the series that came out on the Japanese YouTube channel. This is going to be episode 2, and it's going to come out June 18th, 2025, 12 p.m. UTC. This is the day before the update, so I'll probably be making a video on this. So again, Japanese YouTube channel. It will be in Japanese, but it will have English, Korean, and traditional Chinese subtitles. So if you want to check this out, the last one was pretty cool. And then this one's going to have a lot of previews and updates for Season 6 and possibly more things in the future. In fact, there was actually a pre-briefing for partners for Niantic, but as some of you know, I was out of country, so I didn't make that one. But Monster Hunter Navi usually has other things that come out for their episodes, so I'm probably going to be watching this one and again making content on it for that. So look forward to seeing some previews literally before the update comes out later. Not later that day, but to literally the next following day, depending on where you're at. And hopefully y'all are excited for Season 6 regardless of the lack of features. This feels like a very generic update, and I get the whole balancing thing for Riftborns, but let's just hope the content plan during Season 6 is a whole lot better. I was pretty hyped because I was expecting like, oh hey, I could go ham and just murder Riftborne Black Diablos, but obviously that isn't going to happen anytime soon. Not only that, bow isn't one of the styles that were introduced for the beginning 3 types, which I kind of get because it's overpowered, and making super weapons have style customization off the bat wouldn't be great. But if you're trying to gear content towards endgame players like me who can factually beat 9 and 10 star monsters without calling on my friends, or literally having a community or lack of a community thereof, I don't get why it's like this. Let's just hope things are being more planned for the future, because again, this is really lacking and nothing in this is going to literally break the game. With that being said, please do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. I really hope y'all are excited for this. I really hope you Hunting Horn mains are ready to finally not be disrespected and be able to shine with their musical hammers. And I just hope you're having a blast regardless. Good luck on your grind, good luck on your drops, and I will see y'all on the next video.